Okay, or it can be partial function, means more than one independent variable also can be there. It's not necessary only one independent variable. So partial differentiation topic we are taking, so definitely independent variable will be more than one. So in that case, the function will be having a point where it will achieve either its maximum value or minimum value. So our work is to find that point, okay, where the function is maximum or minimum. So today's topic is that only. Very easy mathematically to calculate. How will you do that? First, we find out the different first derivatives. First, suppose a function fxy means a function is there depending on x and y, and we are denoting it by z. So z can be differentiated partially with respect to x as well as with respect to y, right? So first your work is to find out first derivative, then find out its second derivative. So second derivative will be two-time derivative with respect to x, two-time derivative with respect to y, and another will be x derivative with respect to y or y derivative with respect to x, means del square zy del x del y. This is always equal to del square zy del y del x. So our work is to find out these five values first of all. Whenever you see the question of maximum minima, without thinking anything, you will find out these derivatives, first derivatives and second derivatives. Okay. So this del square zy del x square is denoted by small r, means there are symbols. It's completely your choice, but in general, in your book, it is denoted by r, s, and t. So what is r? Del square zy del x square. What is t? Del square zy del y square. And the mid one, s. S is del square zy del x del y. Here you can see the second derivative of x is denoted by r, second derivative of y denoted by t, and s is y with respect to x or x with respect to y. Okay. Then we will check rt minus s square. Okay, we will be having these values r, t, and s. So we will find out rt minus s square, whether it's a positive or negative or equal to 0. Positive means greater than 0, negative means less than 0 or equal to 0. So if it is positive, then only it's possible to find its maxima or minima. So just to remember, must condition to find out the maxima and minima is rt minus s square must be greater than equal to 0 here. If it is equal to 0, that time we say we can't say anything. This is a doubtful case. We can't say anything whether it's maxima or minima. We don't say anything. But if it is less than 0, then we call it saddle point. Saddle point means there is no particular point where maxima and minima lies. Okay, so must condition this should be greater than 0. Now greater than 0, we got to know that maxima and minima is there, but we don't know what is actually maxima or minima. That we don't know. So how do we find out that? We check that r means del square zy del x square is less than 0, that time we call maximum value. Less than 0, maxima, greater than 0, minima. For the normal differentiation, we have already done that. This is topic about when independent variable are more than 2. If it is was 1 only, if you remember in PUC, you have studied for that maximum minima already. Okay. So here, same like only there, what you do, if you remember, you first differentiate, put it equal to 0, you will get some points. You differentiate again, and those points you put into that. If del square f by del x square you got greater than 0, you say minima achieved. If it is less than 0, we say maxima achieved. The same kind of. This difference is here, instead of one independent variable, you are having two independent variables. Okay. So this is the methodology. This chart is showing complete method to find out the maximum and minimum. Now after that, we are having the problems. These all problems are important. Already I have shared you with these slides. You can first I will elaborate and later on you can practice on them. So suppose this is the first question this year, that fxy means function depending on x and y, more than one variable depending. Okay, x is to the power 4 plus y is to the power 4 minus 2x squared plus 4xy minus 2y squared. So here independent variable are x and y. This function can be differentiated with respect to x as well as with respect to y partially. So first of all, your work is to find out r, s, and t. Extreme values means same only, either maxima or minima. So what we will do? R means del square f by del x square. So two times differentiation partially with respect to x. You need to remember for partial differentiation, when you are differentiating with respect to x, y will be treated as constant, and when you are differentiating with respect to y, x will be treated as constant. Okay, so same like here. When I do it first time differentiation, I will get 4x cube with respect to x. I am telling 4x cube plus this is 0 minus 2 to the 4x plus 4y minus 0. Okay. Mm. Here fx. Okay. Same with we will do with respect to y. This is 0, 4y cube, 0 plus 4x minus 4y. Okay. Here. R will be two time differentiation means again you will differentiate this. So will be 12x square minus 4 and t will be this two time differentiation with respect to y. Again you differentiate the 12 y square minus 4. S is either you differentiate it with respect to y or differentiate it with respect to x. Both come equal only. So if I differentiate this with respect to y, 0, 0, 4. So 4. Okay. So R, S and T, we are having this. You will put RT. First, sorry, we need to find out the points also. Always points are find out by putting first derivative equal to 0. Like similar, say you have studied in PUC. So here, fx is this equal to 0 and fy equals to this also we put equal to 0. So there are the two equations we have got here. Okay. After solving, it's your choice. You will solve. There are the two simultaneous equation. You can use any of the method. See here what I will do. In place of y, I will take y equal to x minus x cube and I will put it here. Okay, that will be called elimination substitution method. So any of the method or otherwise directly if you add them, so we see x and y will be cancelled out. Any of the method. Our work is to find out the value of x and y. It's completely your choice, whichever method you want to apply. So here we have added those values and we got x cube plus y cube equals to 0. X cube plus y cube equals to 0. Now we know that a cube plus b cube formula you can apply, that is a plus b in a bracket, another bracket a square plus b square minus ab. This formula after applying we will get the value of, see I told in the first bracket you will get x plus y. So from there x will be minus y or y equals to minus x, and that we will put here. So after solving, we got the values of x equals to square root of 2 minus root 2 and 0. And by this equation, by this formula, we got the values of y also. So here you will get a set of ordered pair like x comma y. So when x was square root 2, y was minus root 2. So this is a one pair. Another pair will when x was minus root 2, y was square root of 2. That is another pair. Third pair will be 0, 0. So here we are having three pairs. We will check RT minus S square in pairs is 0, greater than 0 or less than 0. So here if you put RT minus S square, I can show you here actually. Always rather than writing it here, we can make a table. Generally, in the class, I have done it in the first semester. We will make a table. Here we put a function. Here we find out RT minus S square. We write the result, whether it's greater than 0, less than 0, or equal to 0. If it is greater than 0, the maximum or minima is there. If less than 0, saddle point, and if equal to 0, doubtful case, like this. So here we will check on there that RT minus S square is what. So it is not completely solved in this slide, I think. Yeah, it's not solved completely, sorry. But you will try like this. If I put RT minus S square was, one second, RT, this into this minus 16. Okay, so here we will put these value. In place of x, put square root of 2. In place of y, put this. Okay, so directly they have written after solving, you will be getting R is greater than 0. Directly result they have written, but you can do practice yourself that R came greater than 0. When it is greater than 0, then definitely at this point it's a minimum value. Second also they have done directly, so it's a minimum value. But when 0, 0 was there, when RT minus S square you put comes equals to 0. So at equal to 0, we always say that case is doubtful. We are not sure about it. Okay, so this is the methodology to solve. Like here, same pattern. This is the function. What you will do? First differentiate with respect to x. Then differentiate with respect to y. Put them equal to 0. You will get the points of x and y. Then we start taking second derivative, del square f by del x square, taking it as small r. Then del square f by del y square, taking it as t, and del square f by del x del y, taking it as s. We multiply rt minus s square, and after putting first derivative equal to 0, we got the points of x and y. On those points, we will check out the rt minus s square. When it is greater than 0, we say maximum or minima is finding out, but if it is less than 0, we say saddle point, and if it is equals to 0, case is doubtful. The same here they have done. This unit is very easy. Just what will be the difference if you know the differentiation or not properly. So here, what you will do first, this term you will multiply with the whole terms in the bracket, multiply it together. So after differentiating, we got this. When differentiated with respect to x, y is treated as constant. With respect to y, x is treated as constant. R, s and t. Our first derivative put it equal to 0. They got xy is equals to, they are two pairs, 1 by 2, 1 by 3 and 0, 0. And rt minus s square was this after multiplying. So first we will check on these points, 1 by 2, 1 by 3. Here 1 by 2, 1 by 3 was greater than 0, was greater than 0, then definitely maximum minima is lying. After that we will check r value. R value is less than 0. Less than 0 means maxima is there. So it has a maximum value at this. Okay, and at 0 it was, it came equal to 0, so further investigation is required. So this is the whole sole concept. After that questions are there. This is in the terminologies of AB, cos and sine. Here are the problems. Already I have shared with you these slides. You can do practice on them. Okay, so this was the normal yours max to find out maximum and minimum. After that topic comes, that is Lagrange's multiplier. Lagrange's multiplier is, one second, let me open that slide. In Lagrange multiplier, what happens? We need to find out, concept is same only, we need to find out the maxima or minima of a function, but that function will be attached with a given condition. A condition will be assigned with it. So that condition we will assume as some another, means you will denote the complete function as the part of two functions. First part is where of which you want to find out maxima minima, you will take it as phi, and another function which condition is given will be taken as psi. So complete function f will be phi plus lambda psi. You just remember like this, phi plus lambda psi. The earlier phi is the function of which you are supposed to find out maxima or minima, plus lambda. Lambda is that Lagrange's multiplier. The word is Lagrange's multiplier is lambda only. And psi is the function of which condition is already given, like I show you in the slide here. So this is Lagrange's method when you need to find out the function maxima or minima of a function when another condition is given. So like this, it is denoted like this. I was telling you phi or psi, it's completely your choice. You just need to remember here they have denoted by small f and phi. You need to remember this earlier function, the first function. You see there are the two functions. Lambda is the Lagrange's multiplier. This is called Lagrange's multiplier. First function is the function of which you need to find out maxima or minima, and another second function phi is the condition given. Otherwise, after that pattern is same only. What will do? You will differentiate it with respect to x, y, and z, whatever with respect to whatever the variable are independent given. Okay, and put them equal to 0. When we find out the points, we will get our function like this. And good thing is, in your syllabus here, we actually don't find the maximum or minimum value. We just find out the points where we can find out maximum minimum. So you will leave up to the first derivative only. Good thing is, otherwise in another university where I have taught before, we used to find out the maximum minimum also of this type of function, but in your syllabus it's not there. So like this, and the maxima and minima distances of the point 3, 4, 12 from the sphere, this. So all of you, so you should know what is the formula of the distance. Okay, so we will suppose a point is there x, y, z, and their distance from this 3, 4, 12 will be square root of x minus 3 whole square plus y minus 4 whole square plus 12 minus z square. Okay, like this, you are supposed to write down the distance. So that will be our one function. Another condition is given this. Okay, so that complete f will be this plus lambda this. Okay, I show you solution of this here. See, x minus 3 whole square plus y minus 4 whole square. This is the distance formula already. It's of ninth or 10th standard. This is the distance formula. Our work is to find out its maximum and minimum, and the condition is already given, x square plus y square plus z square equal to 1. Okay, so we are having two functions. First function is this and another function is this. So complete function, Lagrange's function will be fxyz plus lambda. See here, x minus 3 whole square plus y minus 4 whole square plus z minus 12 whole square plus lambda of given condition. X square plus y square plus z square minus 1, like this. Okay, so for stationary values, again, those points are the stationary points, and here you need not to find out maximum minimum, just we need to find out the points. So what will we do? We will put it equal to 0. So when you put it equals to 0, 2x minus 3, differentiating with respect to x. When you are differentiating with respect to x, y and z will be treated as constant. Be careful. Okay. So here 2x minus 3 plus 2 lambda x. So this is the first. Okay. This will be your del f by del x. After the del f by del y will be 2y minus 4 plus 2y lambda here. And z will be, with respect to z, if you do 2z minus 12 plus 2z lambda, this. Okay. But when we write it together, that time df equals to 0. Df means what? How will you write? Del f by del x dx plus del f by del y dy plus del f by del z dz equals to 0. Or otherwise, you need not to write this directly. If you see here, directly, I told, like, you need to find out first derivative with respect to x is this, put it equal to 0. First derivative with respect to y is this, put it equal to 0. First derivative with respect to z, put it equal to 0. If you don't understand it, no need to write this value even. For stationary value, directly you need to find out first derivative with respect to x partially, then with respect to y, and then with respect to z, put them equal to 0. So here we are getting three equations. Your work is to solve them. How can we solve them? If you see here, three equations, lambda is there. So what can we do? I from here, x I can take in the form of lambda, y I can find out in the form of lambda, and z I can find out in the term of lambda. Okay. So if you get that, what you will do? The easiest method. Here they have done it complicated. The easiest method, the condition was given x square plus y square plus z square equal to 1. Here you will put the in given condition x y z you found out, you put it in that x square plus y square plus z square equals to 1, and when you will solve, then you will get the value of lambda. Although they have applied another method, this also can be applied, but little complicated. For your easy method, I'm telling you, first you will eliminate the values of x y z in the terms of lambda here, and then put into the given condition. Okay, when you will put into the given condition, x, y, z will be eliminated, only lambda will be there. So you can find out the values of lambda. Here also they got the value of lambda. And after finding out the values of lambda, we got the values of x, y, and z. Okay, if x, y, z are found out, we can find out the maximum or minimum distance easily. Distance is that in the beginning only we did square root of x minus the x points we have got out. So this is the Lagrange's method. Very easy method. It looks difficult, but actually it's very easy method. The second question is, show that the rectangular solid of maximum volume. So you need to find out the what is the volume that can be inscribed in a sphere is a cube. Okay, maximum volume. Volume we know x, y, z. Okay, and inscribed in a sphere. Sphere is x square plus y square plus z square equals to r square. R means radius, or it can be taken as constant equals to a square. So here if you see here, the condition is given is x square plus y square plus z square equals to r square. This is given condition. So that will be multiplied with Lagrange's multiplier plus lambda. And we need to find. Okay. Here they have taken as length as 2x, 2y, 2z, but it's not necessary. You can take as x, y, z. That time volume will be normal x, y, z only. So it's not necessary to put it at x, y because they have taken 2x, 2y, 2z. Okay. Is that given in the question? Let me see once. No, not at all. So you need not to take as 2x, 2y, 2z. You can take it just let x, y, z be the length, breadth and height. That time we know volume is x, y, z. Okay. And sphere is x square plus y square plus. They are telling to find the maximum. We can how much the maximum volume solid we can have, which can be inscribed in a sphere. Sphere is this. Okay. Make the function complete function is of which we need to find out maximum or minimum. So xyz plus lambda of a given condition. First derivative put it equals to 0, same like earlier. Same like earlier. So we got x equals to y equals to 0. And then when three are equal, we know that any rectangular shape in rectangular solid, when it 3D is always a cube. Like in 2D, it will be a square, but for 3D, it will be a cube when all the lengths are equal, length, breadth, and height. Okay. So this is the methodology. Other problems are also same. You keep trying and please ask if you are having any doubt. Okay, so till here, anything you feel to explain again or more explanation? Anything, any doubt? If you are having any doubt, unmute yourself and please speak. I will assume that you are understanding everything then. I will move forward. The next topic is Jacobian. So no doubt, students? Okay, fine, if you are not asking. Okay, so the next topic of the same module and the last topic, that is Jacobian. Hmm. Jacobian is what? See here, till now what we have seen that one variable was depending on more than one independent variable, and then we were finding out the differentiation, partial derivatives. But what if dependent variable is also more than one and independent variable is also more than one? Then to take the derivative is quite complicated, okay? Right? How to do find out that? In that case, we take the help of Jacobian. So suppose u and v are two functions, two variables, depending variable on x and y. For example, I'm telling you, u and v are depending on x and y. Then u can be differentiated with respect to x partially as well as with respect to y. Means I can find out del u by del x and del u by del y. Same type, v also can be differentiated partially with respect to x del v by del x and del v by del y with respect to y. But if we want to find out together, in that case, Jacobian comes. Jacobian is written as J, capital J, and in bracket if you write UV. So directly it is showing that U and V's partial differentiation with respect to X and Y. And mathematical formula is very easy. In the determinant, first row, the first element U was written. Na? So in first row, you will write the first partial derivatives of U with respect to independent variables. So in first row, we will write del U by del X, del U by del Y. Second row, the second variable. So like I told, J, U, V.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yeah, tell me.
Ma'am, we are not able to see the screen.
Because right now I am just speaking, I am not presenting anything. I told
Okay,
earlier,
ma'am. Okay.
okay. I am trying to
Okay.
elaborate first, then I will show you the examples. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. So what I was telling you, uh, in the second row, we will write v is depending on x and y. So second variable's derivatives. So del v by del x, del v by del y. Okay. So that time, if more than one, you are having dependent variable, we use this Jacobian thing. So here, see here. If u and v are functions of two independent variables, then the determinant here. So first del u by del x, del u by del y. Second, either you can write it by j uv only, or otherwise j uv by xy, or del uv by del x del y. These are the notations to represent the Jacobian. Anything you can find out. Okay. And one another, the reverse of this, that is called j dash. Here j dash. The position of dependent independent is reversed. So del uv came down and del xy came up. So that time that is known as j dash. Okay. And of course, we know that if I write p by q and if I write q by p and multiply together, will be equal to 1. So same like jz dash equals to 1. Okay. And one more thing is there. If we you have done this thing in total derivatives. If u and v are directly not depending on xy, but some mediator is there. Mediator means u and v are depending on and r and s are depending on x and y. Okay, first variable depending on second, second on third. Then how to find out the derivative of the first variable with respect to third variable? We take the help of second variable. Okay, we insert the second variable in between. So same like this only. J u v y x y, but u v can't be differentiated directly with respect to x y, so we will insert R and S. So UV by R and S and RS by X and Y like this. Okay. So here are the questions. Find the Jacobian of UVW with respect to X, Y, Z, given that U is this, V is this, W is this. So here you can see three variables are there depending U, V and W depending on three variables X, Y, Z. So here I can find out del U, the U with respect to X, Y, Z, same V with respect to X, Y, Z and same W with respect to X, Y, Z. That's the Jacobian will be in the determinant here. First variable u, so with respect to u x, u with respect to y, u with respect to z. Second position v, this order matters a lot, so always remember. So v, after that del v by del x, del v by del y, del v by del z, del w by del x, del w by del y, del w by del z. This is a determinant. All of you know how to solve determinant. These values you will find out from these. If differentiated with respect to x, so 1, this will be 0, 0. Okay, so 1. Same with respect to y, 1 only, with respect to z only 1. Here x is not there, so 0, 1, 1. And for w, x and y are not there, so 0, 0, 1. Like this, we will put it into this. Directly, you can find out determinant, or otherwise who is good in matrix can easily find out that the determinant of this will be equal to 1. So this is the Jacobian. How to find out the Jacobian? Here also directly u, v and w are directly depending on x, y and z. So we can find out the partial derivatives of them. So these are the very small simple questions of Jacobians. These all are very small questions. I see some different. Okay. Same only. This is also same. I think in next slide I am having the different questions. Let me see. Yeah, yeah. Here, this is also U and V. Like this. U and V. No, no, no. Sorry. This is also very simple question. This is also simple question. Yeah. If x equals to u, 1 minus v, and y equals to u into v. Here, x and y are depending on u and v. See, the situation is reversed. Till now, we have done u and v are depending on x and y. But here in this problem, x and y are depending on u and v. Prove that j dash equals to 1. So means our work is to find out j and j dash. Okay. And if we multiply, we should get 1. Then our theorem is proved. Here we can find out easily j. J means del x by del u in first row and del x by del v. Second row del y by del u and del y by del v. Easily you can do that. Okay. Now the question come how to find j dash. For j dash, what you will do? Try to understand what I'm going to say now. Till now, x and y you are having with respect to u and v. What will do? With applying some plus, minus, or addition or squaring any mathematical operations, our work is to find the value of u and v in the terms of x and y. Getting? Means if we suppose anything, if I do, I take it inside u minus uv, and if I multiply them, I will get directly u equals to x plus y. If you are good in calculation, you can easily see here, if you do x plus y, you will get u. So I will be getting u equals to x plus y, and from there also v also I can find out. V will be y divided by x plus y. So from there, u I am having x plus y, and v I am having y divided by x plus y. From there, I can find out j dash, and after multiplying, I will get j into j dash. I will show you, proof will be there. here. See, I told you this question. Simple, x and y is there. So j easily you can find out del x by del u, del x by del y, del y by del u, del y by del v. Okay, did it. But for finding out del j dash means the position of dependent and independent will be reversed. So here by del x by del u will be del u by del x. Del x by del v will be del v by del, sorry, del x by del u, sorry, yeah, del u by del x and del u by del y. And here down del v by del x, del v by del y. Now I told you u we got x plus y. So del u by del x will be 1 and del u by del y will also 1. And v was y divided by x plus y. So when you differentiate with respect to y, x, you will get this. And with respect to y, we will get this. Solving the determinant, j dash came this. So j was this, j dash is 1 by u. Multiply them together, you will get 1. Our theorem is proved. Difficult thing is, I know, here will come for you to convert these equations in reverse position. Reverse means now x and y are given in the terms of u and v, but our work is to find the value of u and v in the terms of x and y. That can be done only after practice. See here, I'm not using any pen and pencil, means you can't see, but I'm telling you, I'm not using any pen, paper and pencil, but orally I did that with mathematical calculation. If I add them, I will get the value of u. And if I put it to the value of u here, I will get the value of v. So it just of the practice. Okay, if you do practice by using mathematical operations, there is no fixed pattern. So I can give you that do it only. No, there is no fixed pattern. Depending on the question given, you with the operations will be changed. Whether sometimes just after adding you will get the values of u and v, or might be just after subtraction, but might be sometimes after squaring or otherwise after substitution you will get. But that will be completely on your practice. Okay. So ultimately, your work is to find the value of u and v in the terms of x and y. Then we can find out the value of j dash. So this is the Jacobian. Any doubt till here? Anything you want to ask? Even not only this module only or Jacobian, I'm telling any module, first and second module that till now I have done covered first and second module. Any doubt in that? Because see this here now, anyhow, your aim should be to get pass in the subjects where in which subject you are having your backlogs, that those should be clear. And I observed same people were failed in almost all the same subjects, means like electronics, chemistry, all are the same people only. And you might be knowing you can't be promoted if you are having more than 4 backlogs in total, odd and even. So keep practicing. 2 modules are over. And yeah, one more thing, I am planning to take test. You tell me according to your convenience, ma'am, that day you organize our test. Tell me first, any of you, of these 2 modules. After that only, after test, I will pick up our 5th module as per the discussion. That is linear algebra, matrix. Tell me, otherwise I will fix the date. I'm giving you 1 minute. Tell me fast, otherwise I will fix the date. I'll take the test for this 2 modules. You should be prepared, and definitely I bet I give you guarantee of 100%. The questions of the test will come in your final exams. So you must get pass in that also. Tell me, today is 4th June, Thursday. When you are comfortable. Okay, nobody is telling, then I say. On Monday, 8th June. Okay? Just remember on Monday, 8th June at 2 o'clock, I will take the test. Okay? How would I do that? I will call you on Google Meet only, everyone. Simultaneously, I will post the test, the PDF file or image file on WhatsApp group. You will download the file, start writing. 1 hour we will be having. 1 hour you write the paper. Your on Google Meet, your camera should be on. I will keep watching you that you are not cheating or you are not doing anything. And after that, I will create a classroom group, or otherwise you will send me in my mail ID. Anything that I will tell you that time only where to upload. I will find out कि classroom is easier, or otherwise I will give you a drive link. There you can upload your files. Okay. And those who, tell your friends also who will attend the test only would be eligible to write your re-exam. Otherwise, I will give this data to exam cell, to the HOD ma'am, that other people are not allowed to write the re-exams. Okay. So any doubt, students? Should I wrap up the this session? Okay. If nobody is asking, see you next Monday. I'll take the test. Okay. Till then, take care. Bye bye, all of you. One sec. Okay.